Welcome to this episode of the Overthinking Nerds podcast. I wanted to say it this time. I'm like, you
I
always
was
say
gonna
it.
say it. It's my
You
thing.
always say it.
How dare
I
you?
wanted to say it.
How dare you?
It is now my thing.
Welcome to the Overthinking Nerds podcast. Now I can cut him
I already
out.
said it.
My name is Summer Brown, and this is
And my name is
my
Zachary
brother.
Brown. And really, you only remember Zachary Brown. She's just here, so it's not weird that I'm just talking to myself about it.
Actually, you do need to make an effort to try and remember his name in particular, because he won't make as much of a lasting impression on you, because I'm just that cool that I will. And I'm kidding. Anyways, what are we talking about today, Zach? See, I'm taking your thing.
I asked first. I started
No,
asking
you
first.
took my thing, I take your thing. What are we talking about today, Zach?
You just said both things. This isn't fair. We're talking about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. One of the best movie trilogies ever.
And
one of the most disappointing trilogies ever.
One of the
I'll let you
most...
figure out which one is which.
Yes, Zach. Not one of the worst. One of the most... trilogies.
I think disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing.
It wasn't terrible, it was just disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I put it in more of the...
Terrible, but I don't think it was terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible. It had really good moments.
It is not high praise whatsoever. But anyway.
Yeah, first, do you want to talk about the Lord of the Rings? I think you know.
What do you have to say about Lord of the Rings?
About that. Well, currently, it is one of my favorite just series of movies. Sorry. Ever, really.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite movie or movies change a lot, but right now, I think since I just watched them not too long ago, those are just at the top right now because those are movies I can watch just again and again, and they're still just amazing. It's like they really, just an initial thought, they really just capture this wonderful magic that just makes them so fun and enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I think out of those things, almost everything about those movies, but the acting is great. And also especially considering these movies came out a decent amount of time ago. I mean, what? I don't even remember now. 15 years? 15?
I don't know.
Somewhere around there. I don't know. I didn't watch them when they came out.
Yeah.
So
We were a little too young.
They're not super modern day movies.
Mm-hmm. But they hold up.
All the special effects are really good. They actually look better than The Hobbit.
I know. Yeah.
Somehow.
I think
all the special effects are really good.
Oh,
I think they make great choices with the story too. Go ahead.
So I feel like I mean, I could be wrong. Just from what I've heard about it, I wonder if the reason the special effects look more real is because didn't they try and do more really try and do more practical effects and a lot of just trying to the prosthetics and such to try and make it look less digital. Obviously they didn't have as much access to that.
But okay, but this thing is an example. Okay, the cave troll in the Fellowship of the Ring, compared to say, I don't know, the Goblin King in The Hobbit. The troll looks way better.
Yeah, I think.
And the cave troll was totally CGI.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is operating off of secondhand knowledge, but I think you watched these two, but those, do you remember the that trilogy videos I told you about that I
Yes.
think you said you watched from Lindsay Ellis? I think in that she mentioned that part of their problem was that they couldn't use some of the same things in that they did in Lord of the Rings because of I can't remember what it was, but like the certain like resolution or like way they were filming it. It was something to do with
Yeah,
that.
because they were doing it like I don't remember how many frames per second it was, but it wasn't like the normal.
Yeah, it wasn't the normal one, and that affected, so they couldn't use like matte paintings and stuff for like the backgrounds and just
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Like some of those things that were really cool in Lord of the Rings, and so I think they had to rely more on digital stuff. So
Yeah.
that was just a small tangent. Me operating off
Okay,
of
we're not supposed to get there yet,
very
Emma. We're
second.
talking about Lord of the
Sorry.
Rings first. But you're fine. Yeah, so do you have a favorite part of Lord of the Rings? Like, what do you think makes Lord of the Rings the best?
That's so hard because there's so many things like you were mentioning the cast and like the characters that they play. Like that's one thing that really makes it just so good because I mean obviously from the books, which yes I am still trying to read, they are like they have these great
Rings,
characters.
heathen.
Shut up. um
Pretend
that
you're not a true fan. You haven't read the books. Can't be you're not a true overthinking nerd.
Oh no, I'm such a fraud and I care so much.
You're an imposter.
I feel like I could just insert an Among Us meme, but then I'm
I
gonna be
say,
awkward in that sense
wait,
because I only
there's
played
one
that game like
imposter among us.
twice. Who's fake? Just eject, just just like I just conjecture, you just see me like floating by the window. I'm
And
the
then I
it's
would be
me,
the
I'm the
only host.
imposter. Yeah, that's been his plan all along. To eject me
You're
into
falling into
space.
my trap. Yes, exactly.
That seems a little overcomplicated. Anyway, the characters. Yeah, I mean, just yeah, they have these great characters in the books, and then they find an amazing cast that's just absolutely
Mm-hmm.
perfect to bring those characters to life. So I feel like it'd be almost impossible to not be like somewhat engaged and get somewhat enveloped in the story of these characters that just is so well acted and just so well shown on the screen, and that is one big thing for me that I think just makes it great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. I really like this story. I think it's really well executed. Like, I know some people that won't like this, but I really like. Honestly, I think just about all the changes they made from the books were good. You didn't need Tom Bombadil. Sorry, you didn't need Tom Bombadil. You've gotten to that point, right?
Yes, having read through the first like part of the Fellowship of the Ring, I am glad that they omitted some things. They did a good job of operating off of the knowledge that I have of the books. I think they did a good job condensing what needed to be condensed, and also like being able to adjust like certain like story beats to have like that good structure of like the certain like acts, and so that it's, even though this really is kind of all one big long story, it still has like all the like climaxes in the right spots. And
yeah, because I think they really just like they cut out and condensed the stuff that they didn't really need as much. I think they did a really good job just capturing the essence of the story, like what the important parts, and then telling it. I think just in like a great way through like all the different characters and all sorts of stuff. It just makes it like super engaging, I think.
And yeah, again, it's just there's so many elements that work wonderfully together to just make something that is just incredibly just, I don't know, I just feel so happy, I guess, just whenever I rewatch them, just so I can appreciate how well done they are so deeply. And it's just one of those movies that you just really, really just a joy to watch.
Yeah,
It's a joy to watch all of
I
them.
can watch it. I don't know how time seeing those movies, but I can still watch them over
Yeah.
and over again because they're so good. And you should check them out if you haven't seen them. If you haven't seen
Yes,
them,
you should.
I'm ashamed of you.
I know you cannot be an overthinking nerd if you haven't at
Hey,
least seen them.
Emma, you can't ridicule him for not watching the Ring because you haven't
I
read the book.
know. I know. I say that with with a joking tone because I'm well aware that I have not read the book, so it's kind of hypocritical. But
Have you read The Hobbit at least?
yes, I had to read it for school.
That
Zach,
is a
you
good
should know that my really
Oh yeah,
crappy Hobbit movie poster that I had
that
to
was a
make
great
for
poster, Emma. That
school
was a great
is
poster.
still hanging up in our dining room for some
You know,
reason.
I had to
I
make
don't
a movie poster
understand
before there
why.
was a movie, Emma.
What?
You were lucky. You had
Oh
you
yeah,
had
you
a
had
movie to work
that.
off.
So yeah, I had the
I
movie
did
to
it
work
before
off
there was
of.
a movie.
I could add a fully accurate cast.
I was just throwing random names on there
Were
because
they
I'm
even
doing
like
costume
names of
stuff.
like real actors? Did you know?
Yeah,
Did
I
you know
think
the
so.
names of
I
even
used
five
like two
actors
characters,
back then?
like two people from actual like Lord of the Rings that I could, and then
Mm.
everybody else was just like random actors. I think I honestly don't even know where my poster is, but I made
I mean, you could have even made up names. I would not put that
I may
past you.
have. I don't know. This was so long ago.
Yeah, I remember Mom was saying like, "Oh, you could also just like, put in like different actors." I'm like, no, I'm not putting more work into this than I need to. I'm just using using ones from the actual movies. I'm not putting that additional work into this.
So, thoughts on the Hobbit movies? Good, best thing ever, not good, terrible, worst movie ever made.
None of the above. Because I'm just gonna say on average. I guess if you're averaging the way all the movies make me feel, okay. I feel like it ranges from okay to That's the only way I can describe it with that noise. Just
There's a couple. Actually, okay, I would say I'll just agree with everyone. There's a couple moments
I have
actually
to
like
see them again.
this is really good, and then you're like,
Yeah,
why can't the rest of the trilogy be like this?
yeah. I think that they should have been made into two. It should have been two movies as was originally intended.
Yeah.
I'm especially after seeing those the YouTube videos we're talking about. I'm really sad we didn't get to see, I feel like, how it could have been before, all, sorts of mix-ups with the directorial changes and then the
Yeah.
influence of the studios. I'm curious as to how it would have been without all of the mishaps that happened, like, within the
Yeah.
making of it.
Yeah,
It
I would
had
also wonder.
potential.
Yeah, but like also, I'm wondering with how much they shot for that movie, if somewhere in there is all the footage that they have for the three movies, that there, if you could actually edit that together into one or two really good Hobbit movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be perfect, but you might
It
be
would not
able
be
to.
perfect, but you might. I think you could do something better than what we got.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that they uh I know that they did like, reshoots for at least like the first one. I wonder what it was before they did some reshoots where they added in such splendid additions as a love triangle. Like,
Left Triangle was in the second one.
what was that, the second one? I can't remember. I
Yes, it
can't
was.
keep
I'm
it
like,
straight.
get
I don't
your Elfdorf love triangle straight, Emma.
I
You
don't
should remember when those
care
take place.
enough
How many movies
about
have you seen with an Elfdorf
the
love triangle? Yeah, that's right. One.
yeah, and I don't want to see
It's
any
the second
more.
Hobbit movie, not the first one.
And I don't want to see any more. See, that's the thing. I don't care enough. The movies don't make me care enough about this story for me to want to get my facts straight about when things occur. Like,
Also, I should
I
say,
just
who in the world thought that was a good idea? Who's
what
like idea?
the love
Just do an
triangle?
upward slope triangle. That would
The,
be a
it,
great
it was
idea.
it was it was the studio. It was
That
directly
wouldn't
the
be dumb
studio.
in the slightest.
Because, love triangles, I guess, easy to just churn out and marketable? I don't know. I haven't heard anyone who liked that. So I don't know why they added it.
Because it wasn't that the period of time where studios thought every movie needs a love triangle.
I guess, yeah, I guess so. Like, yeah, thankfully they're not nearly as popular
Mostly because they're
now, I
doing
don't think.
just
But
complaining about them.
there was a period of time where it feels like there were an excessive amount. I
You probably
wonder.
blame Hunger Games and
That's,
Twilight for that.
that's what I was just gonna say. I wonder if it has directly to do with that period of time where, like, in, like, especially like young adults, um, but like the whole genre, like, age group. I wonder if it has to do with, like, love triangles kind of becoming a staple of that. I wonder if that's like what directly,
Yeah,
like,
that's
popularized
what I
them.
would probably think.
I would guess so.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a question
So
for you.
blame YA.
Say one nice thing about The Hobbit.
They did a good job casting Bilbo.
Yes.
Martin Freeman is a highlight.
He was a really good Bilbo, honestly.
Yeah. No, I think he
really
did a great
liked him
job.
as Bilbo. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like,
he did
Ian McKellen, he was,
wonderfully
of
in
course,
his
still
role.
great as Gandalf, too.
Of course, yeah. Ian McKellen's awesome.
Yeah, but, like, yeah, I would also, like, yeah. That was, like, probably one thing I really like. I think most people, he said I've heard talk about agree, and, like, Martin Freeman's actually a really good Bilbo.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other problems with the movies, but at least their casting was,
Yeah.
at least for him, was good.
That's the thing. I don't think they had anyone on there that was, like, a bad actor. I think a lot of the parts that were less good, I think, came more from a writing direction standpoint.
Oh, hey, one scene I will say is actually about just as good as any other scene in Lord of the Rings. In The
What?
Hobbit. The Bilbo and Gollum, the riddles.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. That scene is great. That scene,
Yeah.
like, that scene is, like, just about as good, I think, as anything in Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah. No, I would agree.
It's one
I
of the
think
few
they
things
did
I think
that
actually
well.
captures the magic of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
That's the thing.
Sadly, they don't do that for most of the movies, but I love that part.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything was right there to, like, work well for them because, Andy Serkis, he always does an amazing job as Gollum. And then, yeah, you have, like, Martin Freeman, who does great as Bilbo, like you're saying, definitely a highlight. And so, yeah. I would agree that
honestly,
is definitely a highlight of them.
The another one I like is kind of funny, just a similar sort of thing. It's when Bilbo and Smaug. I like that scene. That scene's good too.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would say that I think they got Smaug right. They ended up killed him in the best way and made some hard decisions about when to end the movie and when to kill him. That was we can talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, but I think they got Smaug right. He's definitely, I think, intimidating enough.
And I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna keep going back to these videos because they're awesome and really well summarized. At least, like, the first one, which is the one that's like a review.
Do we need to cite these at the end of this?
I'll just say it. I already said who it's by. There's these 3 videos by a YouTuber. Her name's Lindsay Ellis. She does, like, video essays. But if you want to watch them, just search on YouTube Lindsay Ellis, The Hobbit, and it'll come up. That's all you need. Like the first one is like The Hobbit, like uh, Long Expected Autopsy, I think. I've watched them multiple times because they're really good.
Now we can talk about this guilt free.
Yeah. And I was just gonna mention like a joke she makes about like, like Benedict Cumberbatch as like Smog. Like it just is, just love how much like in behind the scenes footage, just the absurd amount of fun it looks like he's having, like crawling around on the ground, acting as Smog. And that's just great. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he was a really good Smog.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, you talk about how baffling it is that he dies at the beginning of the third movie, and not the end of the second, which he was kind of the main villain in the second one.
It doesn't make any sense.
It was bizarre. It was like,
it's a horrible way
to restructure things.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense. You don't kill the main villain of your second movie at the beginning of the third one.
I know, and like
I guess they kind of did that in Return of the King, but it worked there.
It's different because it's totally different. Because it's, I mean, I get that them
He's already defeated at that point.
Doing that because it's not moving a climactic like battle or just in general climactic sequence that should naturally go at the end of a movie. It's not like tacking it on to the beginning of another one, which doesn't make any sense.
You know what they did? You know what they did instead, Emma? They added a climactic fight scene with the dragon in the forge because they needed a big climactic fight scene, and they had him get drowned in a bunch of gold because reasons.
This is another reason everyone listening to it needs to go watch that video, because her review of that scene, just how exasperated she is so funny.
It doesn't make sense.
Accurate. Like the heat-proof doors.
Other than they needed a climactic battle scene at the end of the second movie, which makes you wonder, just have the scene where he dies be the end of her second movie.
I know. It's so dumb.
Everybody's probably gonna be coming in here like, what are you yelling about?
but I mean, you're right. It's just so dumb. I don't understand why anyone thought that was a good idea. It's a horrible idea, and it doesn't work. This makes me frustrated because there's potential.
Peter Jackson.
What?
The second Hobbit trilogy was some faith in Peter Jackson. This thing just like, I see something that's just like, what were you thinking?
I know. I mean, obviously I feel like you have to definitely put some of the blame on the studio, because the studio definitely messed some stuff up. But I mean,
yes, but some of the stuff was also had Peter Jackson just too. I don't think you can blame one person for the problem.
Yeah, when you really look at it, you can see it as a combination.
That a lot of people might probably will disagree with me on, is that, the Gandalf's whole side quest, I don't necessarily dislike that idea in principle.
No, I don't dislike the idea.
I mean, I know some people say it's unnecessary, but I think it because, I mean, especially since the movie came out after Lord of the Rings, I can kind of see why, I mean, you could, I think, actually made that interesting.
Yeah,
I think it would have been really weird. I mean, it's kind of weird in the book that Gandalf just disappears and shows up again. Because it is kind of weird just to have one of the main characters in the movie just completely drop out for a while. I mean, I feel like you kind of need to have him in there. You can't just completely drop him from the story and then just have him randomly show up again with an army.
Because I get what they were going for, and I think it makes sense. I think you could totally do that well. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
how they
think it was a
execute it is a
bad
different
idea
story.
in principle.
Uh-huh. No, yeah, I
I
totally agree with you.
like a lot of people say you didn't need to see what he was doing. I mean, like I would just like say it's like, but wouldn't it be weird? Like if he just disappears?
It makes it a more it makes it a more solid story having
Yeah,
when you at least
yeah,
address
because like
that
he's
level
one of
more.
the main characters of the movie,
Mhm.
and he just would have just dropped
Just
out. Like I said, it feels weird. I mean, when I read The Hobbit, it feels weird to me that he just doesn't show up. First,
mhm.
there's a lot of stuff in The Hobbit. Like if you just read it as a book, you're just like, this shouldn't technically work in the story. I mean, it kind of does. Like oh, just perfect example, having your main character be unconscious for the big climactic battle. It's like, generally, so you make up a story and you told it to somebody, they would tell you, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah,
But I
that's a
mean,
good point.
I think everything worked out for Tolkien in the end, though.
Oh yeah.
The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings were only,
Yeah,
moderately successful.
just a little bit. We you know, we're only talking about it because it's just kind of popular.
Well, also, can I also say how sad it is, though, that all the dwarves, except the exception of like Thorin and Balin and I don't remember. It's either Philly or Kelly, whichever falls in love with the elf. But aside from like the three of them, none of the other ones get any character development, and they made three
I
movies, and
know.
somehow none of the dwarves had any character except for except
I
for like
know.
three of them.
Like they kind of just
Like
get left by
how?
the wayside.
And it was like,
And
how did you do that? You had three movies.
I know. I feel like it's a
Still didn't give
stronger,
most of the dwarves any character.
and that's to me that's sad because I mean it's the whole like arc of it is it's they're it's their like their and journey as a whole with like Bilbo like helping them and everything and all of that and like I feel like it'd be a stronger story like when you're translating it to
Yeah,
screen
if
if
you
you
could
like
care about more of those dwarves.
yeah if you like do like like do it so like you make people care about them and also like I think it gives it more of emotional impact when you like develop just Bilbo's like relationships to like all of the dwarves, not just like a couple, but just like
Yeah,
the few that he actually talks to.
yeah.
It's
And then like, and I will say because that character development, I want to say his name's Killy, the first one that dies, because he doesn't have much character development. You kind of have a sense of,
just
oh no,
just
that one died.
flat. Like yeah, that is the reaction you have, and you should not have
You're
that
like,
reaction
yeah,
when one
yeah.
of the characters
That's
who's
how you
been in
feel. Like,
all
it's
of your
like, yeah,
movies dies.
everyone watching him die was like, oh no,
Like
I don't remember what your name is, but you just died.
yeah, I felt more seeing that elf whose name I always forget that dies at
Javier?
Helm's Deep,
Yeah,
seeing him dead than I did seeing
yeah.
Philly like brutally murdered.
I remember this really. I get that two dwarves.
No, Killy, I'm pretty sure Killy
I
is
mean,
the one that falls in love with Tariel.
is it? I thought it was the other way around. See,
No,
this,
I'm
oh,
pretty positive.
that's also another
I think now
problem
you're
when like
making me doubt
a
myself.
bunch of your main characters have very similar. A bunch of the dwarves all have very similar names.
You're
I
making
don't
me
know.
doubt
So
myself now,
if a big
Zach.
Hobbit fan is listening to this right now, they're probably just hating me because I'm messing up these dwarf names.
I'm gonna look it up because
Okay.
now you're making me doubt myself.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, and then you, and I was thinking too, of all doors, single doors get character development. By the end of it, all of them are dead except for one. And yeah, Balin. I guess what's his
Yeah,
name? I
and
think
Ballin dies.
Bofur gets a little bit of character development.
Yeah, I was right. This one is Philly.
Oh, I guess one's the way young.
Yep. Just goes to show the impact that those characters made on you.
I know, right? I can't remember
one
which
of
one is
them.
which.
I know their names are Philly and Killy. It's one of them. One of those ones.
They're
I
basic,
care
yeah,
so much.
I think of them as the one who dies that I don't care about and the one who falls in love with the dwarf. That's how I keep them separate in my mind. Oh wait, no, not the one's supposed to live the elf, not the dwarf. There's no dwarves falling in love in here.
Sorry.
That'd be a very different movie.
Yeah, what? That would be quite a different movie. I completely forgot about what we were just talking about.
We were talking about how we don't know who these characters.
Yeah.
The sad character development of these dwarves.
Yeah, I could.
No, they had 3 movies to do it, and they still.
The only reason I can remember some of their names is because they rhyme. I can remember some of the ones
Dory,
that like
Dory.
Biffer
Bomber.
Biffer Bomber. Yeah, that's the only reason I remember them.
Boing, oin.
Uh-huh.
Doing, doing. Boing.
Are you making this up now? I can't tell.
Boing.
I legitimately can't tell which one. Okay, I know you're just doing a bit now.
Come on, you know who Coin is, Emma.
But like seriously, like to a point. I don't. You could just say one that sounds generically like that, and I wouldn't be sure which ones were actually doors and which ones you made up, because you don't get connected to some of these characters, and that's bad.
In case you're wondering, the first 3 are real. The rest of them are made up.
You just kept going. I'm like, wait, what is happening now? What is going on?
So, do you have any final thoughts, comments, concerns about The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings?
I mean, nothing specifically. I'm just... It just makes me kind of sad comparing The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings, because, like, we have this great...
Epic masterpiece.
Yeah, epic masterpiece. And then we have this, which is...
behind it that you should really read.
Yeah, I will. And then we have The Hobbit, which, like, you can see the potential there, and you feel like it should be good because of, like, you know, the people behind it and everything. It seems like, you know, it should be able to be good, but it's not as nearly as good as it could be. Like, sure, there's some great moments that I enjoy watching, but it doesn't make me feel so happy like The Lord of the Rings does. I enjoy some parts, but then I just feel sad about the parts. It's just like, why? That's not good. Or this could have been good, but you messed it up. Why? So yeah. Lord of the Rings makes me happy. As a whole, The Hobbit makes me depressed.
Yeah. I think the biggest part of The Hobbit is they try to make it Lord of the Rings. And if you read both of them, they're decidedly not the same thing. They're very different.
Yeah.
So like, it kind of makes me wonder what The Hobbit would be like if they would have done The Hobbit before The Lord of the Rings.
I don't know. Yeah.
So.
I'm not really sure. That's interesting to think about. Or if they just, you know, kind of had a more clear vision for it apart from just trying to make it capture what Lord of the Rings is like.
Especially since, you know, like, the Battle of the Fire Armies, like, didn't really have a script or, like, writing it on set.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Which, you know, for those of you who have not done anything in film, that is a bad idea.
For those of you,
somehow it works for the Iron Man, but most movies it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's not. I think even people who haven't been in film should know that is common sense, because like that's not.
Did you know a lot of Iron Man was improvised?
I actually didn't know that. I might have heard that before, but I didn't know. I don't
There's
know
like a
how
rough
much of
outline
it.
in each scene, and then Robbie Downey Jr. just kind of
See,
like improvised a lot of it.
that's the thing. When you have someone like Robert Downey Jr., like you can get away with that because there's certain actors that are just really good at just being able to just be their character and just improvise like that. I mean, obviously, not just like, everyone around him was, I'm sure, like, was able to do that too, but like, yeah, when you have really, like, I mean, in like The Hobbit, you had good actors, but I think even with that, you could have had the best actors, and it wouldn't have really helped with what they had to work with.
This is why we feel sad about The Hobbit.
Yes.
But you should check them both out if you haven't seen it, even though we just ripped on The Hobbit.
Yeah, you should still check it out because
watch it, and then if you watch
they have moments worth watching,
and then look into why it wasn't as good as it could have.
Yeah, go watch it, then watch the videos that we were talking about by Lindsay Ellis, and be depressed.
Be depressed, yeah.
Because you probably will
be depressed. They did make me depressed.
Yeah.
I can still enjoy The Hobbit for what it is. It's still disappointing, but I watched it a few times.
Yeah, see, I can still enjoy it for what it is. I can enjoy the good parts of them.
Yeah,
because there are good parts.
Because of really good performances, Bilbo.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, like he makes those movies worth watching.
Yes, I would totally agree.
I mean, him and Ian McKellen, because Ian McKellen's good.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
two
agree.
of them make those movies worth watching. Like, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would watch them.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, that's you're definitely right. Well, I guess
I think that's it, isn't it?
I think that wraps up this episode. So
thank you for watching this episode of Overthinking Nerds podcast.
Or listening.
I'm your host, Zachary Brown. Or listening. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people just listening.
I'm your co-host.
Zachary Brown.
I'm the co-host.
Goodbye and good
Emma
night.
Brown. Goodbye. He can't end. He can't stop this. Yeah.
Or good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Or good night. Goodbye.